think Thanksgiving might get a little bit of a break, but there's action.
There's action. Some people are trying to get some things done before the holiday. The Padres quite active today.
Okay.
Now, they've made a trade with the Brewers, and this is a really interesting trade. They're getting Trent Grisham, and they're getting Zach Davies from the Brewers, right-handed pitcher, in exchange for Luis Urias, who's a second baseman, who is a guy that's been a big prospect, hasn't really performed at the big league level yet, and left-hander Eric Lauer. That's one thing the Padres did, and then I'll get to the second, and then we'll go through it. So the other thing is they're in agreement with Drew Pomeranz, the left-handed reliever, free agent. Don't know the terms yet. It's pending a physical. But along with what they have, Kirby Yates, Jose Castillo potentially coming back from injury, and some other relievers as well, a number of other relievers, their bullpen could be pretty good. Now, the question in the trade is going to be, Fran, all right, who becomes the better player, Grisham or Urias? That's a question. And the Brewers likely will use Urias at shortstop, play Urias at second, and that would be their middle infield, probably for years to come if it works out. So it's a really interesting move in many ways. Zach Davies, less control than Eric Lauer. So from that perspective, the Padres get a guy that they just feel will plug in better right now, and the Brewers get a longer-term solution. But neither of these teams is done. Padres still want to add more offense, even with Grisham. And the Brewers, of course, are always kind of a work in progress. They've got Moustakas as a free agent still out there. Grandal is gone and signed with the White Sox. So these teams are evolving, and we're seeing it all happen.
All right, so you mentioned Urias playing shortstop here at second. What's this mean for Orlando Arcia?
Good question. And remember, Fran, I believe we talked about this yesterday. The Brewers last year were 30th in OPS at shortstop, last in the majors. So Arcia, though he's a great defender and a guy that occasionally shows offensive life, I don't know that they see him as the answer. Maybe they play the three guys kind of in combination, although I don't know. If you're getting Urias, you're probably getting him to play him. So perhaps Arcia goes somewhere else. There's all kinds of possibilities there, but this seems to be a move that says, all right, we want to do something different at short.
And then are you surprised here, too? Trent Grisham, look, I mean, the Brewers didn't have quite the year that they wanted to have last year, and they had some injuries that they had to deal with in the outfield. Lorenzo Cain, I mean, was banged up. He kept trying to get out there, but he was banged up a little bit. And Christian Yelich, obviously, ended his season early. Grisham is a kid who, I mean, if you combine what he did in the minors and the majors last year, he had 32 home runs, and he was a great defender, and he was one of the players, I think, that helped kind of propel Milwaukee the rest of the way. Is it surprising to you that they would include him as a trade piece?
It is a little bit surprising, Fran, and you make a great point. He is a guy that was a real part of their second half in September renaissance. Him and Urias added a lot of energy as well as just offensive capability. Now, his offensive numbers in the majors weren't as good as I thought. I looked them up again just now. It's 730 OPS. But he is a guy who can do some things. There's no question about that. He should help the Padres. But my guess is the more controllable starting pitcher in Lauer and the infielder that they want in Urias, that is what convinced them to do it. This is a classic baseball trade, and we're going to find out who made the better evaluations. Kind of a fun deal, to be perfectly honest.